Crypto Frog in the area for another stream. This time we're talking about yet another awful, terrible, distressing decentralized finance exploit / hack, this time involving Euler or Euler Finance. It is absolutely a jungle out there, folks, in the DeFi sphere. It's brutal. Why do we put ourselves through it? I find myself asking this question on an almost daily basis. But we're the pioneers, ladies and gentlemen. So it's something we just have to deal with, I guess. Subscribe, click the bell for notifications so you don't have to check my Twitter every time I go live. Tune size in the house, legend. And thumbs up the algorithm. You know it's what she'd want. And disclaimer, no financial advice. DeFi projects, I'll have you known, are very high risk. High risk of going to zero. I should know, being involved in a few myself, that have literally gone to zero. Fabulous. Sarcasm. You may follow me on Twitter, CryptoFrog202. If you would like to support the channel and support these streams to supplement the $6 a month YouTube gives me, you may become a Subscribe Star member. That is where the alpha does floweth. I've decided to keep the alpha off YouTube because it's kind of a little bit sketchy, and alpha a lot of the time is kind of like short to mid-term. So over the long term, things can either look really great or really shitty. So if you want alpha of a short term to mid term, potentially long term variety, go to Subscribe Star, $25 a month. Very reasonable if you ask me. And I also, ding ding ding, it is a new feature of the Crypto Frog multimedia experience, my Substack. I left a link in the video description below. I started it yesterday, had a bit of time on my hands, and I've already written 2 articles on my Substack. USDC depegged, what do we learn? I didn't make a stream about that, so I thought I'd write a Substack about that. So it's all free of charge on the old Substack, so just go there, put an email in, click subscribe, and you'll get all my posts on Substack. And I also wrote just now, only 3 coins survive a crypto apocalypse: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Monero. You all know it's true. All right, so we're talking about Euler DeFi. Oh man, this hits so close to home. Like, I can't tell you how many of these things I've been a victim of, and it's just reading like the stories of people who have been affected by it. It's really rather distressing. It's good to know that I still have a heart somewhere, or at least some muscle that pumps blood. But this is an article from CoinDesk. This happened just within the past 24 hours or so of making this stream, and it really tugged on my heartstrings. So the first major real exploit / hack of 2023, and it was a large one, but not a large one like, yeah, I had a proper large one last night, as in it was good fun. A large one like absolutely terrible. So CoinDesk report that the losses occurred over 4 transactions. Only 4 transactions it take to absolutely scoop out nearly $200 million. DAI, wrapped Bitcoin, staked Ether, and USDC after the attacker conducted a flash loan attack. Who, in the comments, if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, who is behind this? I mean, I struggle to believe that it's always North Korea, the Lazarus Group. I think the Lazarus Group is often just code name for the CIA. Anyway, this goes on to say that decentralized lending protocol Euler Finance suffered an exploit that resulted in almost $200 million being lost. This is according to smart contract auditor BlockSec. The attacker used a flash loan to conduct the attack. We'll get onto what Euler Finance says in a minute. Flash loans, man. Can't we just get rid of flash loans? Can't we make that a thing? Flash loans are always the thing behind these shitty exploits and that. Can't we just get rid of flash loans, please? Ave, and any other service that offers them. Can we just pull that shit? I mean, I'm all for like DeFi and shit, but flash loans just don't seem like worth the trouble. Comment if you believe that is also the case. Flash loans allow DeFi users to borrow millions of dollars against zero collateral. See, that's not cool, man. And plus, it's been used to like fuck people over. It really pisses me off. So basically, flash loans, like you borrow something, pay it back all is in the same transaction, as if the loan never existed. Hence the name flash loan. Yeah, in April of 2022, literally 48 hours after I stuck a bunch of money in it, Beanstalk stablecoin protocol was drained of 182 million bucks, of which part of that was mine. What a wonderful morning that was. I think it was a Sunday morning I woke up to that news. Fabulous. And in May 2020, more than 1.2 million, literally a drop in the bucket compared to Beanstalk and Euler, taken from Euler Finance. Euler's attackers used the loan to temporarily trick the protocol into falsely assuming it held a low amount of E-token, a collateral token issued by Euler based on whichever deposit is deposited into the protocol. A separate D-token or debt token is also issued by Euler so that an on-chain liquidation is automatically triggered when the amount of D-tokens exceeds the amount of E-tokens held on the platform. Another thing, if you're going to make these complex DeFi protocols, make sure you have the chops to make it like as bulletproof as humanly possible. And I did notice, I did tweet about this. Get a proper auditor to look at your books, look at the code. I did notice that PeckShield really seems to be on the case. They're always like, at whoever, you might want to check this out. Literally within moments of it happening. So the attacker took out over $30 million worth of DAI. So the attacker received $19.5 million worth of DAI, then received 195.6 million E-DAI and 200 million DAI. Gross, dude, gross. Gross. Sickening. Comment below if you've been a victim of one of these exploits and all that. Absolutely gross, dude. Like I say, I got spanked left and right by Beanstalk. Dreadful. So I could feel Euler Finance people's pain. I feel your pain, brothers. We're all brothers and sisters here. So this is Decrypt. They write pretty good articles. It's a 2-minute read, so right up my street. $18.5 million in wrapped Bitcoin. A whopping $135.8 million in staked Ethereum. Gross. Another $33.8 million in Circle's USDC. A BlockSec spokesperson told Decrypt that the root vulnerability is still unknown. How is it still unknown? Do you really think that this is all like some 18-year-old North Korean hackers who are just like super geniuses? I really have a tough time thinking that. And I always think that naturally one's mind goes to thinking inside job. $7-11 was an in-store job. How can the root vulnerability still be unknown? But they do know that the attacker used a series of 6 different flash loans to leverage the attack. Flash loans, be gone already. I've really had enough of it. I think it's the responsibility of the DeFi community to reach out to these services that offer flash loans and just say, cut it out. It's wrecking lives. As I said before, PeckShield are always super on the case. they basically worked out kind of what was going on right from the get-go. So you have a bunch of their tweets regarding it. Anyway, there's another. This was 8 hours ago, probably one of the more recent ones. Code bug enabled flash loan attack. Have you ever taken a flash loan? Leave a comment. And do you think flash loan should be abolished? I, for one, say yes. And no, I've never done a flash loan. And as a result of it getting exploited, the Euler governance token lost over half its value in the wake of the attack. Whether it will never make a comeback, who knows? Euler confirmed it's working with TRM Labs, Chainalysis, and the broader Ethereum security community to track and attempt to recover the stolen funds. Good luck with that. Going back to my nightmare with the beanstalk. Oh, God, gross, dude. British and American law enforcement has also been notified. Why notify the US law enforcement when they're Lazarus? Allegedly, I don't know. Euler's total value locked currently stands at just over $10 million. Oh, gross, dude. Why do you have a vulnerable function when you have custody of hundreds of millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency? Why do you have a single line of code that can possibly be exploited? And why aren't there consistently auditors of the highest quality dissecting everything? If there's any changes to the codes in these DeFi contracts, they should be gone over with a fine-tooth comb and to see whether that particular line of code that might have been altered somewhat might affect some other line of code as a result of being changed. Surely that just makes sense. I mean, bro, if you have $200 million in TVL, you must be making sick cash from all the fees and that. Surely you can get like PeckShield or one of the other reputable auditors to basically work 24/7 just keeping an eye on your shit. It's my personal opinion. Sorry, my sparkling water is ejecting carbon dioxide. Yeah, it's pretty gross, dude. And so this is their website. This is the most recent update as of the time making this stream. They say they are trying to recover funds. Good luck with that. After having been a victim of beanstalk and selling my position for 8 cents on the dollar, good luck with that. So they took a few actions immediately. They stopped the direct attack as soon as possible. Like literally, I don't think they responded for like an hour. Helping disable the e-token module. Why do you even have it in the first place? Which block deposits and the vulnerable donation function. Don't have vulnerable functions. Engage with certain communities to help with the investigation, blah, blah, blah. They also contacted those responsible for the attack, they did that with Beanstalk too, but didn't fucking do anything to see if we might learn about our options, aka give them like 50% of the money. Oh, I hate it. Stop doing flash loans. Stop it. And this is a guy, just to give it a human element. This guy, Jack Purdy, is director of B2DAO and Mazari Crypto. He says, today I just lost about all my savings in the Euler Finance hack. Bro. I don't know why there's a picture of literally Bernard Manning. American viewers, listeners probably don't know who Bernard Manning is, but Google him. You'll find that he's quite a controversial figure. I find it quite unusual that I assume that looks pretty much like Bernard Manning. I assume it is him. He's dead now. Down about as bad as can be. And yet I'm feeling more clear-headed and motivated than I ever had in my life. Okay. Now, I'm not taking the Michael out of him. I mean, gutted. And if you're ever listening to this, bro, really sorry for your situation. And I'm glad you seem to be handling it much better than I would be. So allow a stream of consciousness on dealing with a loss of catastrophic proportions. This be a warning story to everyone listening and to myself also. He goes on to say, for starters, this was my fault, not the Euler team. And not the hackers. Wow, what a forgiving man. Whew. I put my money somewhere knowing there were risks involved, so I have to take complete ownership of all consequences resulting from it. Well, that is also a fair point. But it is kind of the Euler team's fault, and it is kind of the hackers' fault that they stole the money, bro. There's no point placing blame outside oneself. Well, you did put the money in, like you said. While getting angry at others or convincing yourself you're the victim can afford temporary relief from the pain, does. I can vouch for that. It only distracts from the reality of the situation. Down bad. Which is that I lost a shit ton of money. Don't think he says how much he lost, but it must have been a substantial amount considering he's basically said all his savings in the world. No financial advice, of course. Do what you want in your money, but probably not best sticking your entire life savings into DeFi protocols, considering how many exploits and whatnot have happened over the past 12 months alone. He goes on to say, but the fact is there's nothing I can do to change what just happened. Not a thing in the world in my power that will bring those funds back. I don't know, hire some French legionnaires. The net benefit to me is getting all worked up about something as non-existent. The net benefit to me by getting all worked up is about non-existent. Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, if he has that kind of fortitude in his character, I tip my cap to you, sir. But I'd be frantic with worry. I don't know how old he is. He might just be like 19. But imagine if you were like 40-year-old married with kids dude. It's like, darling, yeah, remember that 500k we had that we were going to buy a house with? Yeah, it got hacked by someone in Euler Finance. She'd be like, what the fuck's Euler Finance? Yeah, it'd be like, sit down, it's a long story. I'm not laughing at Jack, by the way. I feel his pain. Like I say, I've been through his pain many a time. So instead of blaming others or wallowing in self-pity, what else is there to do? Smash a table up. Find that quite therapeutic after Beanstalk ragged me over. Well, recently I've become obsessed with this idea, amor fati, the love of fate. Oh, God. Instead of just passively accepting what happened to you because you can't change it, why not form a visceral love for it? Oh my God, bro. I think he's having a mental break. To this exact moment you're in. One that has provided this unique opportunity to make of it what you will. Wow. I mean, geez, bro. Sure, this means I may need to cut back on some travel, delay those house renovations, sell those JPEGs I grew so fond of. I wish I could sell my JPEGs, bro. So at least you've got sellable JPEGs. So at least you can make it back a little bit. But it also means that I get to approach tomorrow with a fire lit under my ass like I've never experienced before in my life. Well, that's great to hear. It's good to hear, bro. Fucking fight the day. Effing right, that means I'll be ruthlessly cutting out any work distractions. Might have to pull a couple of double shifts, bro. Not gonna lie to you. Coming to every call and meeting over-prepared, working a few extra nights and weekends. Just put what I pointed out before. Whatever it takes to build a multi-billion-dollar business with Mizari crypto to make it back and then some. And when it's all said and done, it's just money. Kind of true. I mean, at least you still are living and breathing, sir. But for I don't know, how would the people watching the replay and watching this live react in such a situation? Would you be as cool-headed as Mr. Purdy here? If you lost money in Euler, that means you have an internet connection, probably a nice shelter over your head. It means you had access to high-quality information to even understand this crazy world of crypto. Well, thank you very much. I didn't have money in Euler, by the way. And if anyone's watching, like I say, and if Mr. Purdy is watching, my heart does go out to you, and I'm sending good vibes your way. Having myself also been victimized by these DeFi hacking scammers. Most people in the world aren't as fortunate, crazy as it sounds, but I'm grateful to have ever been in a position for some anonymous hacker across the world to steal all my money. Jeez. Taking it a little bit too well, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. Fuck. I've got to learn this energy. Moral of the story, I'll be okay, so will you, so will all of us here. And so will all the Crypto Frog YouTube subscribers and YouTube and Crypto Frog Subscribestar, Giga Chad Legends and Crypto Frog Substack subscribers. Whether you lost money on Euler or FTX, didn't lose either money in either of those, bro, or any of the other myriad of dollar trading shenanigans this industry has brought us, and will likely continue to do so, it'll be all right. I might bookmark this tweet thread just so I can just look at it. And like that meme of the guy from the Avengers or whatever, or the Marvel comics stroking the phone, I'll be that guy one day. Something's going to happen, innit? Finally, he finishes by saying, just take ownership. Don't try to change what happened. Garner a love for it. What, flash loans? And have some gratitude for all that you do have rather than looking back on what you don't. Yeah, definitely. Looking back in crypto is never a good idea. What may have been, what if my auntie had testicles, she'd be my uncle. It doesn't matter. What's done is done. But just let it all out, bro. Don't go down this kind of Zen Buddhist shit if you're not really feeling it. And if you ever want to DM me on Twitter and talk it out, I mean, like I say, I've been affected by Beanstalk in the past. I roll with a punch like you are, but I didn't have my entire life savings in like you said you did. But yeah, I mean, you seem like a very smart guy. Hopefully the next DeFi protocol you choose to lump your life savings into doesn't have an issue with flash loans. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk on getting wrecked. Brutal. And let's see what some of the replies are saying. Love that spirit. You will definitely make it back and then some. I kind of hate it when people say that because it's not true. It's an assumption. Great meeting you in Denver as well. When you were buying all that champagne and all that. Love this thread, sir. Hope you can make it all back 10x. At least he said hope you can make it all back 10x, because people just say you'll make it back 10x. That's an amazing attitude in the face of diversity. I think it's adversity, bro. Take care. Diversity. It's probably like anytime you say anything close to diversity, spell check to change it to diversity because woke. This is the best attitude to process and move on. All the best. Come back stronger, sir. Sorry for your loss, but impressive to see your positive attitude. You will come back from this stronger. Heart of a champion. Damn man, sorry to hear about it. That's if I was going to leave a reply, that's what I'd just say. Damn man, sorry to hear about that. But then I wouldn't add, but you'll make it back. That's not a given. Some other reactions from people who are either in Euler or just watching on the sidelines. Fubar, who has a pretty big Twitter account, as far as 123,000 followers. Euler hack is sad to see. They poured a ton of money and energy into 6 different audits. Looks like if they had 6 different auditors, they should immediately sue all of them and make the people who got affected by this hack whole. I mean, if Joe Biden can do it for bloody Silicon Valley Bank, bloody do it for the Euler lads, Chads. Hope they recover. It's a solid primitive. It was. And they've innovated on the permissionless lending front. Oh, God, bro, but you're literally talking about a project that was just hacked for like hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're talking about like how they were so great. It's time and place for that. Not literally 24 hours after this shit went down. Banteg said someone replicated the hack. Newman Cyber. Might reach out for them later. See if I can make some of my beanstalk money back in it. God, it's such a primitive operation. Talking of primitive, my operation is extremely primitive. And this, I saw this before. Oh, God. If only you could... Euler, if you're listening, you might want to delete this tweet, bros. October 28, 2022. Euler Labs team has arrived ready to hack and party. Ready to hack and party. Euler is named after a dead mathematician, but you don't need fancy math to lend and borrow crypto. Oh, God. Yes, you do. You need to have a bit of an IQ. I'm not saying people who are in Euler didn't have a IQ, but if you are investing in highly complex DeFi protocols, you need to have done your research and know what you're doing before you start pouring Ethereum or stable coins into something. That's just basic common sense. Not just making it easy for, I don't know, Dorothy down the road who's 50. It should be for Giga IQ Chads like me and the people watching this video. Not for the everyman. Only for people who know what they're doing should be able to waste their money on these DeFi protocols that continually get hacked. Those are the rules. Don't drag the ordinary normies into it, okay? And this is like Milky Way coming to the assumption. North Korea just stole $200 million from Euler and you're not longing this. Never going to make it a non. Why is the assumption it's always North Korea? Do you think North Korea was behind this? It's pronounced Euler. I don't give a shit. Euler. 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 Potato. Tomato. Okay, crypto phase here. I'll call it Euler. Oil. La. Some guy got really wrecked. This is Scoopy Trooples, the person behind Alchemex. Maybe Crypto Phaser can tell me how I pronounce that. Sorry, I just heard about oil. I'm sorry for the awesome team and trusting depositors. What do you mean trusting deposit? Oh, the trust. Okay, the actual people not involved. For a team that took security as seriously as they did. 6 audits! That's scandalous that a project can be audited by 6 different firms, maybe not 6 different firms, but be audited 6 different times. I don't know when the final audit was, but that is appalling. The auditor of Euler Finance, I hope they're getting like served. Do you know what I'm saying? Jeez. This guy, Wartull, he had a lot of money in it too. He got wrecked. So my sympathies to him as well. DCF God. Now, after the Euler hack, turns out Temple lost $5 million of stables because Balancer had them switch to BB Oil USD to get rewards, which represents another $1 million I've now been exploited for today. God, it's so brutal. See, and this is what it has, like the ripple effects, the contagion effects. Angle protocol is impacted by the Euler exploit. The protocol had over 17.5 million USDC deposited there. The protocol has been paused, debt ceiling set to 0, and the Euler AMO has been wound down. We are monitoring the situation and will communicate updates as soon as we have them. Bro! DCF God said, F my life, I've got 2 million stuck in oil. Oh, God, bro. It's so brutal. And Degen Spartan saying, all on-chain crimes have been allowed since Zach retired. Brutal. Bro, just leave it alone. That guy doesn't know when to stop. Gaines, he says, only smart people got affected by the Euler Finance hack. Rest of us never heard of it. Just use your galaxy brains to make more money. That's a nice post, I suppose. At least he isn't like flat out taking the piss. Tyler Reynolds says, I think he's a big ETH guy. He went to Yale, don't you know? The biggest takeaway from the Euler Finance hack is to only use immutable protocols like Silo Finance. Euler contract was upgraded multiple times, including without... so this is why. So the people saying 6 audits, but then every time you change your contract and upgrade it, it should be audited again. If what Tyler Reynolds here is saying is correct. He says the contract was upgraded multiple times, including without an extensive auditing and formal verification process. One of these small changes created a flaw that was exploited, which is exactly what I suggested happened before. If you change even toggle one thing around in a contract, the entire contract should be completely re-audited. Completely. Tyler Reynolds goes on, and then I'll say my goodbyes to y'all. You know what you're getting into with an immutable contract. If it hasn't been hacked, you should have increased confidence that it won't be hacked. Any changes to a protocol, however minor, is like trusting a brand new contract with Euler funds. Yes, I agree with that. So let's not let Euler off the hook if that is the case. New or modified contracts should not be trusted as much as they are, even when they're by the same development team. It's a sad day as Euler Finance had brought some wonderful ideas to the DeFi money markets. And on that note, I would like to once again say, having been bloody freaking fat fingering, as being a victim to not one but several of these DeFi exploits in the past, I do pass on my deepest sympathies to anyone affected by this, and don't let it don't even let it ruin it's probably going to ruin your next couple of days, but don't let it ruin the rest of the week or the rest of the month or the rest of the year, and especially not the rest of your life. Don't do anything bloody stupid for a kickoff. Subscribe to my channel, click the bell, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you like this video, if you like my content, click thumbs up and subscribe. A disclaimer, everything I said in this stream is completely not financial advice. As I said before, I do now have a Substack. The link in the video description below. Click it and subscribe. It's free. Not free, Subscribe Star, because it is an absolute waterfall. The Niagara Falls of alpha gravy doth floweth from the Subscribe Star. $25 a month, very cheap, less than $1 a day. Won't find that anywhere else in the whole crypto. Maybe you will, but not the same quality. You may also follow me on Twitter, CryptoFrog202. Until we meet again, peace out.